Hey there, it's Jen Schow, and I'm here with a hybrid process for you using the Ali Edwards June 2018 digital kit. So I have sped this part up a bit because it took me a little while in Photoshop to do this, but basically what I'm doing is I have some of the chipboard pieces from the digital kit open, the hearts, and what I'm going to do is make them into a mask for some of my photos. So basically you can see over to the right I am going to, you have to have the photo layer on top of the heart layer, and then you can option click and hover over the line between the layers and you will be able to mask it. So I'm going to do that a few times here that you'll see, and I've done this before in previous videos. If you're not aware of how to do it, or if I'm going too fast for you here, I am happy to maybe do a video just about that sometime, but in this instance I just wanted to show you that I'm using those chipboard pieces as a clipping mask for these photos. And basically what I'm doing, this has a summery vibe to the kit, and so I have some photos of my daughter that I took in the first few days of summer in my friend's backyard, and she's just playing around carefree totally, and I just wanted to document that. And basically in this particular story I'm going to talk about how it's freaking me out that she's just carefree right now, but this is like not just the end of a school year, it's the end of 6th grade, which means it's the end of an era. It's the end of elementary school. She goes to junior high next year, and that completely and utterly freaks me out. So I'm just trying to enjoy her being kind of little still. She's definitely not little, but she's still kind of little. So anyway, I'm just kind of moving my photo and the heart around so that I can get the photos where I want them. And then I'm also taking 2 of the journal cards that have this cool watercolory background, and I'm going to use the hearts as a clipping mask on those as well for some pieces that I can cut out. So basically what I'm doing is I'm changing the photos and these journaling cards into hearts so that I can cut them all out and arrange them in a grid on my layout later. So at this point I'm just using 2 of the hearts, one that has you can see that like one side of the heart is kind of blobby and one is a little bit more narrow. So I'm using 2 hearts that have the blobby part going in opposite directions. Don't know if that makes sense to you, but basically I just wanted it so that the hearts are facing different ways, and if you didn't have 2 different hearts like that, you could always flip one of them. Because these hearts are a PNG file, you can use them as a clipping mask. If you use the stamp version, there is a heart in the digital stamp set, but it's not filled in, so it will only cut out the center, or it won't cut out the center, it will only cut out an outline from the photo. Hopefully that makes sense to you, but that's why I didn't use it. But here I am trying to find another one that I might want to use, and I found this one that says Hello Sun. I don't think I want the black, but I'm going to change it. So I just fill it in with yellow, and I grabbed the color from the journaling card that had the yellow kind of watercolor heart on it, just so it would match. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag all of these hearts onto a single sheet of paper. Before I can drag the photos over, I just need to merge the visible layers so that the heart and the photos stay together. And then I am making the hearts as big as the photos. I'm not caring to be completely exact. I'm fine with them not being exactly the same, but my photos I did have cropped originally to 3x3 at 300 DPI, and so I do know that all of the hearts will be roughly 3x3, so it will fill up most of my 12x12 layout with a little bit of space for some other stuff if I want to. So I'm basically just going to try to arrange all of these on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I have to merge these images to get the heart, and I am just totally sometimes it just takes me a minute. I'm not a Photoshop connoisseur, and I don't know exactly what to do every time. I just kind of play around and find what works for me. That's how I've taught myself Photoshop, is just by playing around and figuring things out and Googling things. And so I don't know all the quote right ways to do things, but I can get it done. So if you have further questions about what I'm doing, feel free to leave a comment in the video description and I will try to answer you the best that I can. But here you can see I've got those all on there, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, do I have enough shapes here? And I need 9, so I'm thinking, okay, I need one more, so I got to do the journaling, and I wanted to do the journaling on a patterned heart as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, well, at first I thought I was going to use just an outline. I thought about using just a black outline, erasing the middle of the heart there that says "So love the start of summer," and just typing within that heart. So here I am erasing that, and this is the PNG stamp file, and so it's just the outline of the heart now, and I'm cropping it to 3 by 3 just so that it matches the same size as my other hearts pretty much. And at this point I kind of decide I don't think that's what I want to do. I think what I want to do is okay, well, first of all, I decide to get my other photo and go ahead and crop it. I had 4 photos. I will end up not even using this one. I don't know what I was thinking. I was counting wrong or something, but I felt like I needed this other photo for some reason. I don't know. My mind was gone. So, but I put another photo on there, and now I'm going to do the journaling. And so instead of putting the journaling in that outlined heart, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another clipping mask of another part of that journaling card. And so I just kind of hit undo on this journaling card a few times, and I'm going to, I had a little bit of a struggle here when I was moving the journaling card. I kept accidentally dragging it onto another canvas. Ugh, it was driving me crazy. So that you're just seeing my struggle here. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so here I am just moving that background card over till it's got the orange and yellow part, and I like that. So I'm going to go ahead and crop it to 3 by 3 so that it's the same size as all of my other hearts, and then I am going to type in there. And I want to rotate this heart. It feels like it's a little bit on its side, and I want it to be a little bit rotated. So I tried rotating it, and at first it's just rotating the background, so it's rotating the card behind it, so I'm getting a different color in there. But what I really want to do is rotate the heart, so I just merged the visible layers, and now what I'm going to do is go ahead and put my text inside. So I will take a minute and type my text up. I just make it so that it fits within the heart, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so here are my printed out hearts. My printer did something weird up here, so I printed them again, just those 2, so that I could cut these out. I'm just going to hand trim these out. Hearts are really easy, but you could cut them on your silhouette if you wanted to. There is a lesson in Allie Edwards' hybrid class that I can't remember if I teach that in the lesson that I'm a part of for that class, or if Allie teaches it, but definitely it's in there. And I just wanted to show you what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to cut these out. I'm going to put them on a background. Now, I thought about using one of these 2 patterned papers just because I'm trying to use some of my patterned papers, but I have my white as a standby, and then I also have some letter stickers and some stamps that I'm going to maybe include just to spice it up a little bit. So it's really easy to start off with this mostly done for me. I have 9 little hearts, so I'll put them in a grid and then see where I go from there. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I actually have 10 little hearts because I cut out an extra photo because I wasn't thinking. And so here I'm like, oh, I have 10 hearts. What am I going to do? So I'm trying to decide if I want to include the other photo or if I want to include the other heart that has writing on it. And I kind of decide to exclude the photo because it's similar to one of the other ones, and that way I can have one photo on each row. So I'm just going to basically play around with the hearts a lot. I kind of decided almost immediately that I didn't want it on one of the backgrounds that I chose, the pattern papers. I wanted it on white. And so I will flip-flop these around a lot, but the journaling does end up in the center, and I just am trying to get a good balance of color and the shape and all that kind of stuff. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut up some foam, fun foam, and put it on the back of each one of these so that I can pop them up. And this is the beauty of hybrid, is that I can print these out, but then I can pop them up to give them some dimension. So here I have them in the order that I want. I haven't stuck them down yet because I want to get my title down, and it's just going to be a summer story. And so I'm using some alphabet stickers here, and then there is a story stamp on this stamp set that I've got here, and it is Allie's handwriting. So I like the mixture of the handwriting with the kind of serif font there, and I'm just testing out some ink colors to see what color I want to stamp it. Now I thought at first I wanted to stamp it blue, or maybe even that kind of coral color that's in some of those hearts, but I decide that I just want it to match the title, so I decide to go with a gray. And so I'm using close to my heart ink for this, and it's in slate, and that was the color that matched. You can see my swatch book sitting there to the left. I recently made myself a little swatch book so I could match colors more easily. And then I didn't have the word that said, like, I didn't have an A, just an A by itself, so I'm masking off the A in the word vacation so I can make my title be a summer story. And I'm just using I wanted to say plastic notes, no, Post-it notes, to mask off all of the parts of the stamp that I don't want to get ink on, and then I will ink it up and stamp it down. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and stick down my hearts, and I wanted to make sure I got this in the center, so I'm using my T-square ruler. I care that it's in the center going left to right, but I don't care about it going in the center up and down. And so, because I want to leave some space for at the top for my photo, or for my title. And so after I get the first row, that center row done, I'm just eyeballing the rest because I'm okay with it not being exactly perfect. So I'm just taking off my adhesive there. I just used a double-sided tape to put on the back of the foam to glue that down. And I like the way that's looking. So now I'm going to go ahead and get my title down. So I'm going to do the letter stickers first. And again, I'm going to use my T-square ruler just to make sure I get it straight. I don't usually use a ruler, but since I got this T-square ruler, I'm kind of enjoying it. So I'm going to line up the top of the letters. It's easier because the foam is kind of giving me trouble with it underneath the ruler. So I'm just going to line up the top. And then I will stamp the word story, and it doesn't stamp perfectly, but it stamps well enough, and I like that the Y kind of goes down in where the heart dips down. And then there is my A, and there, I just wanted to fill in just a little bit of it because I masked it off. It was just not quite exactly perfect. Sorry for my fuzzy hair. So I'm just using like a little pointed tool to add a tiny bit of ink in some spots that I felt like needed it. And I am just being really picky about it. It's really not a big deal. And I wish I would have put the A up just slightly, but that's okay. I wanted a period, so I just inked up the dot on the I in vacation. And now I decided that I want to back this with something. So I found a pattern paper in my stash, and I'm just going to cut about a quarter inch off of each side of this paper so that I can put it on this polka dot background. And so now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the middle of this because I was just saying at the beginning of this video that I have so much pattern paper that I want to get rid of, yet I'm cutting out the middle of this to save it. I don't know. I really like that paper. So I'm just going to use some double-sided tape around that hole that I created in the center and then glue my background down. I didn't put any around the outside of the white because I'm thinking I want to stitch that down. So I leave it for now. And at this point I'm just going to play around with some embellishments and see what I might want to add to these two empty hearts. And I'm thinking I want to add some word stickers, or I don't know, I couldn't decide. I was having a little bit of a struggle with this, and I like the black chipboard at the bottom, and it says something about a story of summer or something like that. And obviously that went well with this, but I felt like it was very heavy. Although looking at it now, that center photo is pretty dark, so it kind of balances the title and then the dark photo and then the dark word strip. But at at the time I was thinking, this is just not working for me. I don't like it. And then I found these white word stickers and I decided to just do 3 little word stickers on each of those hearts. And I'm going to do 2 that are chipboard and 1 that is just that black and white sticker. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick those down. And at this point, I'm thinking I need some black. So I'm trying to decide if I want to use the black, and then do I want to put some in the middle, or do I want to put some on every heart? I was being a little bit indecisive, but I go ahead with the blue because it matches well, and the black just felt a little too heavy up there. So I don't know, I was just having a little bit of a struggle, but I go ahead and stamp my date in black, and I think that helps. And I'm just stamping it underneath "So Love the Start of Summer." And then I am going to go look to see if I want to add stamps anywhere else, but I decide against it, and I go to my sewing machine and just stitch around the outside edges of the layout with white thread, and I'm just pulling the threads through to the back and adhering them with some washi tape so that they don't come loose. And I'm going to rough up the edges here, and I like to do that when, especially on a simple page, having those little details really makes a big impact. So here's where I can't decide if I like it or not, but I went ahead and added some splatter. This is Pinstripe Mr. Huey's, so it's kind of older, but I just add a little bit of black all around the layout, kind of all in the middle spaces and at the top left and bottom right, and that is going to finish this one. I hope that you've enjoyed. I'll link to all available products in the video description as usual, and be sure to head over to allieedwards.com for more inspiration. Thanks so much for watching.